In this video, traders, we're going to talk about when you get on the end of a good trade, teach yourself to press that trade for all you can. Stay tuned. Hey traders, well, welcome to you. Thank you for joining me. All right, so you know, if you've been trading for a while, that really, one or two big trades every now and then really make up your month or your quarter. And they don't come very often. Markets don't often give that. They're kind of, a lot of the time they're sitting around in range-bound conditions. Maybe you're scalping off highs back to a mean. Maybe you're kind of making these little trades. And of course, that builds your account nicely. And you can make a good living from just kind of focusing on those little digits, little singles here and there. But every so often, you're going to get conditions where you're in a trade, you feel the trade, the market, and you have got to press that thing for all it's worth. Now, I'm not saying you go crazy here and you start putting on massive amounts of risk that you're not accounted for. But sometimes you have got to put a few more chips on the table when the all the ducks are lining up for you. But regardless of that, forget about the sizing. I'm talking more about pressing the trade and holding the trade and really extracting as much juice as you can from it. And so the key thing we've got is, how do we differentiate between a normal trade and one that really is going to pay out and really give us that kind of boost money that actually gives us a good lift and kind of gives us that over the year accounts for quite a good chunk of the profit. So we've got some things to look at. If obviously the market is sitting in a range-bound rotation and you're selling kind of fake outs back to me, you're not going to press those, right? The market's a mean reversion trade. You're looking for reversion back to the mean. The thesis of that trade is just to come back to a mean level. Unless you change your thesis and expect it to expand the other way, then it doesn't make any sense, right? That is just literally a single, hitting the single, taking the money, doing this, doing that. If you've got a trade that's reasonably, perhaps a breakout trade, but there's an obvious key level above, you're just going to take that again from one point to one point. It's a trade that you're just grabbing money from. However, some conditions are going to warrant you saying, you know what, this little thing is going to run on and on and on. And maybe if you're a day trader, you're like, hey, I'm holding this to at least a close, if not for a day 2 follow through or even a day 3. And if you're a swing trader, maybe you're holding it a little bit more extension than normal. It's just that extra bit of holding time and saying, hey, everything's lining up. So what sort of things are we looking for? The first thing, guys, would be, volume expansion in the direction. So if we get a big breakout to the upside, loads of volume coming in and you're long, you want to stay long and you want to say, hey, it might not always continue, might not always give me, a big jackpot win, but I'm prepared to risk that. And I think that's the mental state you've got to get into, is that, okay, for me to get on the end of a real winner and a real runner that just looks so good, I have to be prepared to give back profits. I can't just say, oh, I'm up 50 ticks, I'll take 50 ticks. You have to be like, listen, I'm up 50, I need to probably risk 40 of that, or if not the whole 50, to try to get the 300 that could be on the table here, because everything's lining up nicely. So if you've got volume expansion, that's one of the things you might be like, yes, I'm going to press now, it's all good. Things like a breakout of a key level with volume, all those things, if you're on it and it's running, then hold the thing. Don't get tempted to cut it. And if it comes back, it comes back. But you've got everything there, the kind of right attributes to say, right, sit on my hands, don't touch it. I'm in the position, I've done the hard work, I've taken the risk, I'm now in a nice, comfortable position. Leave that thing to go. Let me think, where could it go? What could we do here? What are the situations? What scenario? Do we have news and fuel? Some sort of catalyst that's driving this means that a lot of maybe fresh money is coming in to drive this market higher, and I'm on it. So if I'm on it, why would I want to come off it? Of course, these things can reverse. So of course, you've got to have the risk managed, but it's a time to go, right, I need to widen my stop a little bit, or I need to be prepared, or not widen it, be prepared to risk what I've gained for the good possibility that we could really fly here and I'm in full size, I'm in a nice position, I'm not going to come out until that. And so what you can do is a little tip for you guys, or trick, is to say, hey, I'm not going to touch this until X. Right, because the temptation is there to close it. I know this, you know this, right? We see the market go up, we see X amount of money, so I'll grab it. But you've got to say to yourself, right, here is my stop. Here is the time, perhaps, or price level I will reassess the conditions. Simple one could be, okay, my stop is X. So let's say let's say you're up 100 ticks, right? And you say, right, I'm prepared to give back 60 because it's quite volatile, but this thing could go up 300. So you say, right, my stop is in. So if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. However, I'm going to come back at the end of the day, assume we're a day trader here, come back at the end of the day, 15 minutes before the close, and I'm going to assess where we are. And if we are, and then I'm going to make a judgment call. So that means you don't touch the thing. You know that the worst case scenario is you're out for X, and it could go fly higher. And then 15 minutes before the close, you come and you say, hey, you know what? This thing's doing really, really well. I'm going to hold it for a day 2 move. I'm going to look for an extension overnight and a gap in the morning and play for that. Or you could say, hey, I'm going to, and listen, we're not saying you got to jump straight away to holding things for the maximum move. It's just stretching our ability to hold right trades a little bit longer. And so most of the time you might have come out and gone and grabbed that money, but just by adding that thing and saying, yes, I'm prepared to risk X to make 4 more X or 3 more X, whatever it may be. Okay, so then it might not all work out for you, but that's stretching your muscles a bit. You might not have held a trade to the end of the day. You might not have held a trade to the end of the week if you're a swing trader, end of the quarter, but you've kind of said, okay, I'm going to trust my judgment here. I think I'm on the end of a real strong runner. Let me prove it. And then if you cut it at the end of the day, fine. You know, not saying you have to hold for 2 or 3 days. That can come with the next phase of extension, the next phase of trying to improve your trading to press and press and press. And you'll start to see, hey, I held that to the end of the day. Look how many I held to the end of the day that actually went on for a 2-day run. Well, logic and data shows me that actually I should be holding these. And you start to learn. So try that, guys. Have some conditions for your kind of style that do warrant potentially a real big solid move. And then write down those conditions and then say, okay, this is press criteria. So when I get this, this, and this, I will press, and this is what I will do when I will press. I will set my stop in here, I'll come back and look at it X time or whatever it is, and have that ready so that you're not snatching at profits, so that you are like, right, the market's moving, grab the plan. What's the plan? Execute the plan, walk away, or whatever you need to do, and try to press, because those guys don't come across very often, those good trades, the real ones that run and run and run. And if you're on it, you really don't want to kind of give up that position you've got, because if you do, maybe you're getting up chasing to get back, or maybe trying to fade it, and you know you're not going to get all of it. Nice if you can, we do from time to time, but you want to get as much juice out of that as you can, because you've taken the effort to put the risk on the table, so you may as well get rewarded as much as possible. All right, guys, take care. See you next one. Bye bye.